Scoundrels web series and podcast is filmed and recorded in their ship, the Centurion Vulture, and may contain language not suitable for all. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to Scoundrels, y'all. We are back. We are broadcasting from the Centurion Vulture. I am CG.
I'm Paul Bannister.
Curtis Wayne Millard standing by.
We are three grown-ass men gathered together per usual to discuss everything Star Wars related. You may notice there's a slight difference here. One of us has relocated to an undisclosed location for fear of Imperial retribution, if you will.
It's a little bug out.
We're going to make a few technical changes in the coming weeks and months as we are allowing ourselves to do this more remotely. Ultimately, that'll be a good thing because it means we can do more episodes more easily. So bear with us as we get the future of Scoundrels dialed in, but we'll be even better for it in the new year.
Just a few Vulture modifications is all we got to do.
Just expanding on what we have. We're going to make it better. We apologize for the delay between the last episode and this, but we are talking about the finale of Andor, which is something, straight. I mean, how do you wrap up something? Just what a series, what a story. Yeah. I mean, and we were right in the last episode to predict that all roads were leading to Ferrix. It was just such a beautiful way to bring everybody together.
You guys called it, man.
And I thought about you, Paul, because I remember when we discussed in the last episode saying we never got that send-off of Andor's mom. She was just kind of dead in that last episode. I was like, well, we never got her moment where, because she was so passionate about the cause, but what a way to do it. And I was like, I should have never doubted. Gilroy. And because it's one thing to say it just to Andor or just to one person, but the fact that they had this whole funeral brigade and this is how they do it when they add someone to the wall, and how they just, and I think that speech she gives is what I think turns Luthen into being more either not sentimental towards Andor, but kind of realizing how important he is to the cause.
Yeah.
Those guys been through some shit, man.
Dude.
Yeah, it's sort of like, it almost seemed like he kind of came to a moment of realization, like, look, if this rebellion's going to grow and expand, we're going to have to be a little more open-armed going forward. You're right, you nailed it. It's like we got our funeral scene. They were just smart enough to save it for the finale. I mean, it probably won't be a 4-hour episode just because, if I'm honest, I can pick out specific scenes, but the finale was just a representation of what made the whole series great. The writing was amazing. The moments were impactful. We got the emotional payoffs. The music was great. The whole funeral procession with the music and the build-up turning into the battle.
That was powerful.
I mean, I've got notes, but really it's just sort of like the notes that are, this scene was awesome. This scene, also awesome. It's just sort of like reinforces everything we've come to know. I feel like it's some honorable mentions for me would include continued writing genius. I mean, that moment when we're hearing, I can't remember the kid's name, but the guy who gave Andor the manifesto that died in the raid on Aldhani.
Yeah, what is that little dude's name?
What is his name?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
It's gonna crush me.
But we're like hearing him talk while they do a montage of shots of all the characters kind of, it's almost like the chess pieces kind of getting into position, so to speak. And then while you're hearing him monologue over it, and it's just genius. I mean, and I made a special note of the writing too. That fucking line when Andor's coming back and he sees his buddy, and it's the first time he's seen his friend since his mother's died, and he was relaying what his mom wanted to say to him, and he says she said two things. He has seen everything he's need to see, and he's felt everything he needs to feel, and tell him that I love him more than anything he could ever do wrong.
Oh God!
And you're just like,
Cue the waterworks.
So
it's
smart,
powerful, man.
It's just It's just smart,
Oh
man.
yeah,
It's like,
and just like
it's
once he
emotional, it's smart.
realizes at all of that he will be unstoppable for this force for good.
Yep. Oh, that's
I
right.
think-
That was the line. Yeah, that's
I
it.
think they wanted her to say. I think the original when she's saying "fight the," they wanted her to say "fuck the Empire."
I've seen that
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
web.
totally.
I think the original audio maybe was that,
Yeah, it was that,
and then they, you know,
and Disney cut it down.
they had the Disney
dialed it
file.
back.
Fight's cool. Fight's all right.
But honestly, man, does the word "fuck" exist in the Star Wars universe?
I mean, anything could.
It
They always
never
say-
has because they've
That's
been
true.
rated PG.
They
But
have
on the
said-
other
yeah.
hand,
They said "damn"
it's-
though, haven't they?
The guy dropped the first shit in that one
did he?
episode where they went to Ferrix to look for Andor the first time. Him and Karn, the
Okay.
Scottish inspector, he drops a shit. And I think I remember that being a big deal. Like, welcome to this guy who brought dropped the first shit bomb in Star Wars.
What episode was that?
That was probably episode 3 or 4 when Karn goes, on his own and takes a whole. It's the episode he meets Luthen, and it's like
Yeah.
like holy shit.
Yeah, that was a wacky episode.
We got so many cool 12 episodes. We start with Andor. He's on this really cool planet. He's looking for his sister. He kind of gets in a little trouble, and then you get introduced to Karn, who wants to go after him. And then because he knows he's in hot water, he gets introduced to Luthen.
Yep.
And then he gets. Oh, it's like, hey, I need you. You're the guy I've been looking for. He does this fucking huge heist. And then gets the money, and then he goes to we had that whole prison storyline.
Prison Break and story. Yeah, dude, there was
How
a fucking
many
there was a
amazing storylines did we get
it's
in
a
one
goddamn
season?
hero's journey.
God.
well, there's basically, I mean, I feel like you're right. All the characters had really great story arcs. So there's a whole series of stories and sub-stories. But I feel like they did it in 4 3-episode story arcs. We basically had 4 mini-stories within the whole series, right? It's
Yeah.
12
Yeah.
episodes, 3 episodes for the prison, 3 episodes for the Aldani raid, 3 episodes on Ferrix to introduce it, and then 3 episodes at the end to wrap it all up and have, it's almost like topped and tailed with the Ferrix of the whole series with all the other stuff in between.
Now, was the prison the belly of the beast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The prison was,
For
I
sure.
mean, Andy was what that just seeing that guy act is a treat.
I know.
But it was
It
cool
really is.
because this finale, it was a great finale because everyone kind of came together. We learned, okay, Bix is out, Andor's now with Luthen, and now he's totally going to be like the #1 stunner in the rebellion. Mon
Yeah.
Mothma figured out her shit. Obviously, marrying her daughter off is going to buy her
Yeah.
some time, which was an okay storyline. I was really hoping she would get out of
Yeah.
Dodge.
Same.
But-
Yeah, what up with Mothma?
Yeah, I mean, but they wrapped it up, and then seeing Karn and Deidre Marrow, like they had a passionate moment there.
Yeah,
She
what's
was
going
like,
on there? Do we think
Oh.
that's going to be are they going to be bumping uglies
Dude,
in the
they're
second
bumping.
season?
Dude.
Is that what's happening?
Are they
going to
be making space love?
Oh yeah, I mean,
Space Hooters.
She was like so confused, like she didn't know what to feel like. I should thank you. She's like, you'll never have to, baby. I've always
Yeah.
got you. I've always been watching. Like they're both just like crazy enough to
Yeah.
be perfect for each other. Like
I
who
know.
knows what kind of monstrous plot
Totally.
they could totally create.
I mean, obviously, it's implied that that's about to happen, but do we think that they'll like full on do that? We've never
don't know.
had an evil couple, right?
No.
In Star Wars before, we've never
No.
had a romantic bad guy duo, right?
It'd be,
Trying to think.
I can't think of it. I mean, the Empire and those weird looking dudes. I mean, I'm sure they were doing some kinky stuff.
Yeah,
on
well,
the
that's
Death
true.
Star.
Yeah. Throne room, and no one's around.
I mean, that's like those guys would. Just I always
Are
remember
those
when
like
he turns
old-
around and goes to talk to him. They just look. I was like, you guys do
Those
some weird
old
shit.
goofballs?
Yeah, those old ghoulish looking potion making
Yeah.
guys in
Totally.
Return of the
Totally.
Jedi.
Dude, they should do a story about those guys.
Well, I'm excited about the new. Not to talk about a different. What is it? The Acolyte series.
Let's talk about a different fucking
Yeah,
series.
we can offshoot. I mean, again,
This is-
I don't have a laundry list of things
No.
about the finale other than it was fucking genius. Nice work, Tony Gilroy.
Yeah.
Cannot wait for season 2.
Cleaned
Lived
up
up to
nicely.
all my expectations, and because the series has been so good, my expectations
Thumbs up.
were
Yeah.
sky high.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
There's
and
no rules, Chris. You could talk about whatever the fuck you want.
Well,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah. Well, the great thing was that they closed. It's what I always love. You close the season, but
Yeah.
everything kind of comes together, but it's still open ended. It's sometimes you close the
Yeah.
season and that's it.
Yeah, what do we think is gonna? Where are we gonna pick up at on
Well,
season?
I know
dose?
Paul said it's like the next 4 years. I think they said that it's going to be a 2-year jump or at least a 1 year
4
jump.
years. So over the course of the next season, so there's 5 years between when this started up until the beginning of A New Hope, and Gilroy said that season 1 is just the first year, which is the story of Andor officially being a rebel, and then the second season fills in 4 years, and there's going to be time jumps as a result. So it might be the same kind of thing where we get these 3 or 4 subplots, 3 or 4 episodes at a time, but instead of one happening right after another sequentially, we'll get like 3 episodes of a thing happening, and then we jump forward 9 months or something like that.
Oh, fuck.
Maybe they reference something and it's like 9 months later, 12 months later. Because, I mean, clearly we're going to go to Yavin at some point. I feel like what's eventually going to happen is Mon Mothma.
Yavin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. She's going to get her ass there.
She's going to have to leave. I mean, I guess as much as we'd like to see Mon
Mothma's not in New Hope.
She's not in A New Hope.
Or Empire.
Nope. She shows up first in Return.
Yeah, her and... right. Do you think her and Akbar have like some sort of like...
Love.
Do you think they're cool?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think they're...
your power struggle?
Think there's a romance in there?
Could be. I mean, like you said, the last episode, I thought for sure when they went to that space hotel, there was some funkiness going. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But they
one of my biggest
nicely. Yeah, the Mon Mothma storyline, it was like they closed it, and I was fine with the close, but it would have been cool to see what happens with her.
Well, maybe we'll get it. Are they like leaving off... Yeah, you go ahead, Paul. I ain't got shit to say, honestly.
No, I was just saying, I didn't mean to derail you, CG. You were going to mention The Acolyte. And so you guys confirmed for me, which I wasn't clear on, The Acolyte is, in fact, a live-action series.
Live action. And not only that, I'm really pumped about it. The only thing is, because you said, is this the first time we've seen a bad guy romance? It's going to focus story on, I think, the evil. It's going to focus more on Sith.
The dark side.
The dark side. Which I think is awesome.
That could be
so
great.
Instead of
and it's like hundreds of years earlier, right?
Yes.
It is?
Great. So
we're like getting
anything to,
whoever taught him.
So instead
Palpatine,
of being like
maybe.
good guys and then the bad guys come in every once, it's like bad guys and then they probably go interact with the good guys. But I think that's such a cool idea. I mean, on paper, after reading about it, I was like, this sounds like it would be so cool to see the Sith side of things.
Well,
a story based solely on the Siths is cool as shit. I mean, I love Siths, man. Come on.
It is cool.
How badass are
They're
they?
mysterious. And after seeing Andor, it's like these guys can obviously pull some shit off.
Yeah.
Or someone can.
I don't know who's doing it.
Hire the right people, and it's great.
Yeah. Please do it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Curtis. So that could end up being, if it's hundreds of years, that could be like the Palpatine origin story.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I'm sure we'll see Plagueis. Darth Plagueis the Wise.
I'm curious about Plagueis.
Dude, he's supposed to be the OG badass, man.
I don't even know who that is.
He's like the Sauron of the...
He's mentioned
the
in Revenge of the Sith.
He's Palpatine's... he was his master. So he trained Palpatine.
Yeah.
And, man, maybe that should have been who Snoke was. I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Snoke should have been Snoke. But yeah, we could go on. And I think that's this series really does open up.
Yeah.
Oh, it says I'm running out of time on this.
The Vulture.
On the Vulture. On the.
So yeah, Alkali. Also, there's nothing to really talk about, but they did drop a single image of Ahsoka. Like I don't know, yesterday.
Yep, Ahsoka's.
It's just a photograph.
I imagine
of her.
we'll get. Well, so Mando comes out in March. When does Ahsoka supposed to come out?
I think what?
Do we know?
I thought it was probably right close after Mando. I know we get a Mando trailer on Christmas Day. That'll be a nice way to wake up.
That will be cool.
I'm pumped about Mando. I have high hopes for it. The last trailer was badass. And Andor's just got me pumped.
Andor's got us back into the fucking New York groove.
Yeah, I mean, Mando kind of saved Star Wars and just brought me really back into being really, really excited about Star Wars again.
Amen.
And then we had a couple hiccups.
Yeah, Boba Fett didn't love it.
Kenobi
could totally do without Kenobi.
Kenobi was worthless. It's stupid. But Andor, come on, man. And I feel like anybody could watch this show. And appreciate. Star Wars aside, I even told Lindsay, who we all know is not into Star Wars at all. I've tried to tell her, I was like, look, this is just a really good show. Star Wars aside, it's the writing. It doesn't. I don't think it gets the character development.
You would not have to tell her it was. I mean, it would say Star Wars in the credits or whatever, but there's no Jedi, there's no lightsabers. Like somebody could just objectively turn on a sci-fi series called Andor and not know it had anything to do with Star Wars and still enjoy the shit out of that series.
I mean, good. How impressive is that? I know we
one
talk
thing.
about that a lot. Oh, go for it, Curtis.
The post-credit scene is probably my favorite. I forgot about it.
yeah.
I forgot about it because I haven't seen it in a few days.
How those miniature models, I like that. How that was shot. That was
was a really awesome way because we did know it.
Yeah,
we did know that was the fucking Death Star, but it was really cool to see the Death Star.
Yeah, they're building those, and the fact that they were building those things for
it
the
was
Death
great.
Star. But it's cool to see the Death Star.
Selfishly, I wanted a Palpatine cameo, but that's okay. There'll be plenty of time for that.
I think he'll turn up in season Dose, dude.
Dude, there was a lot. What
about Vader? Vader won't turn up.
The things I was surprised about, and maybe because there was just so much going on, the one thing I was surprised about in Andor is that they never brought up this massive prison break in in that room when they were at what are they called, the Imperial ICB or whatever.
They were talking about how they talked about taking Krieger. You can delete the Krieger files, meaning that he and all his crew were dead. They didn't mention.
Maybe that's not their section. Maybe that's not their thing. But I'm surprised that wasn't like, hey, did you guys hear about this massive prison break that happened?
Maybe it's not
it's
that
also
big.
They probably
of a
have
deal.
so many of those.
I was gonna say, when you look at that post-credit scene, you see how one of those things is one tiny piece of this giant thing.
Yeah.
They could have 1,000 of those prisons all over the galaxy running.
Yeah, it's like, who
that
cares?
Have a prison break once a week for all they know, but as long as they're still
What's the
meeting
Andor's
quotas.
Yeah.
You're
to
flicking
Andor's
a rock
point,
at a
they
bear.
don't mean anything to those people.
So it's
Totally.
who cares? We got plenty. We can get
To the
more.
Empire, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's almost like a Stanley Kubrick's 2001 shot of that.
Yep.
It's almost like Stanley Kubrick would shoot. That's how he would probably shoot the Death Star.
Were they miniatures?
The beautiful
Curtis?
one. I don't know. I doubt it.
Like the close-up shots.
Maybe.
It looked like they were like models, and they were like either I don't know if
They've done such a good job with the CG on this that it's hard to tell.
That's good. That's always
The
good
fact that we're debating
see.
whether or not it is a testament to how good they've done, right?
Yeah, it's like wondering
Absolutely.
like they spent so much. It just looks so much better than Obi-Wan, but that's literally a whole other podcast.
Totally.
But how impressive it is to have 0 Force elements, 0 lightsaber
Oh
battles.
yeah, not
and
one
still
fucking
be,
lightsaber has been ignited.
Yeah, the best thing since Star Wars.
It's great. So
Mando's
Mando's
up there,
next.
but I mean, for me, this.
And I don't
Mando's
even
next.
like things generally when there's no Force component. So like.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck they did it, but they did it, and I'm stoked, and I'm
passion.
we're
The
back
guy-
on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get good writers
rules.
and you get good everybody on board, and they know
Yep.
what they're doing, instead of just farting something out like, "Oh, I guess I'll just do this project." I mean,
Yep.
like you said, Paul, he is dedicated
Yep.
the years to this, and it
Yeah.
shows. It really does show.
Can't
I
wait.
wonder if Jen Erso's dad's gonna turn up
Ooh,
in the second season because he's a scientist
like a
that
thing.
kind of came up with this whole
Yeah.
death
I'm
dick.
sure we're gonna get those connections for sure. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that, again. We say it every week. Who knows? We're excited.
Who the fuck knows?
Who the knows? But holy crap,
Yeah.
man! What a
It's
great
all good
show.
shit. Let's
How's the vulture looking on y'all side of the?
It feels good.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Always
looks good,
feels
but I
good.
think the clock is ticking on our thing here, so I don't want to
yeah.
lose our sign off. Well,
yeah,
this is
we
great.
gotta
Mando's
go pick
coming up
up
next.
some.
Yeah, we'll
trailer.
follow up with some more
we're gonna-
things between then
Yeah.
and now. But proper episodes coming in the new year. We'll check in with little like nuts and bolts. I'm sure there'll be like updates to discuss on small chunks. But
Yeah,
for now,
yeah.
Andor rules, and we're ready for the next. Right?
Yeah, when is Mando? Y'all said
Mando,
this?
March.
yeah, I think it's January, February. Yeah, and if you guys
Okay.
want to send in any things you want us to do an episode about,
Yeah, please do.
between
Oh,
then
yeah,
and now,
right.
Please do.
I
We
got
can
one
make little
person
short nuggets, too.
I've been talking to on Instagram who wants to
got?
send some stuff in.
Yeah, Curtis has got. Yeah. Send in your stuff. If you say, hey, just talk about this. I'd love to hear your opinion on these. We would love to talk about it. We'd love to hear
Yeah.
from you. But yeah, awesome. All right, go for it, Paul. You know what to do.
Curtis, punch it.